Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Live with NORML. I'm J.M. Pedini, the Development Director at the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. It's Friday, January 16th, 2026. You know what that means, friends. It's time for us to talk about this week's cannabis policy and science news, and for me to answer your burning questions live. So let's see who's here. Hey, John. Howdy to you in California. Who's over there on Instagram? All right, I see you joining. Perfect. Wherever you're watching, first, thank you. Second, take a quick second, hit that like button, that follow button, that subscribe button. You might think you're following us. You might think you're subscribed. Go ahead and double check and share this with your audience so that you can help us reach more people. And hey, do you have questions? Drop those in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Hey, Nick. Good to see you. Welcome back. Hey, FDF in Indianapolis. Hey, Rolling with the Wizard. Good to see you. Hey, NORML Tallahassee. I see you. I see you watching. Cole Memo, welcome back. How is it in Illinois? Is it chilly? It's chilly here. All right, we have some things to talk about. All right. See that? Thank you for those follows on Instagram. Appreciate it. The Wizards in New York. Arguably my favorite city. Also where I lived before I was here. Okay, oh, hey, Alan. All right, let's talk about, you know what, Toby, there's a story from earlier in the week that I want to talk about first. Hey, Jack in Florida, good to see you. All right, so I'll go grab that real quick. Earlier in the week, if you are subscribed to NORML, you got our news. And you got an email version of this warning that we sent to everyone. I just dropped a link to it in the comments, so I can see that's posting right now. If you're not seeing the link, sorry, Instagram, I can't do links for you. You can find this on the front page of the NORML website at norml.org. And the story is called Multiple States Facing Marijuana Legalization Repeal Threats in 2026. This is a warning because this is what's happening, and we want you to know that this is happening around the country. Prohibitionist orgs have gone on the record that they intend to sink millions of dollars into efforts to repeal legalization in 2026. And let's go through some of what that means. Hey, Patricia, thank you for watching us on Instagram. I see you. Yeah, let's get something going in Wyoming. I have some good connections for you there. All right. Multiple states are in fact facing the threat of legalization repeal. Let's talk about Maine first. Maine and Arizona. So in those two states, there are prohibitionist efforts underway to collect signatures to qualify for the ballot. So they are in this signature collection phase in Maine and Arizona. If the Arizona initiative passed, it would repeal the state's licensed retail cannabis market. Yep, wiping out thousands of jobs, millions of dollars in revenue, probably billions of dollars in revenue. The Maine initiative, if it qualified and passed, would similarly wipe out the state's regulated adult use market while also eliminating your ability to cultivate cannabis at home for personal use. So they do allow home grow in Maine, and this would wipe that out as well, in addition to the adult use retail market. Yeah. Hey, Joe, I see you on Instagram. It's not just through the not just through the grapevine, Joe. Joe says, I heard through the grapevine regarding Maine and deceptive signatures. It's about fooling people to sign the petition to get this on the ballot. And Marijuana Moment had some great coverage of this. Let me see if I can find that. I know I shared it to our Facebook. But essentially what's happening is they got caught trying to fool people into signing this. Goodness gracious. Let me just go to our Facebook and look it up. Trying to fool people into signing the petition to get it on the ballot by telling them it was for other things. And apparently that's fine. Apparently you can do that. You can lie to people, apparently, because where the heck is it? Maybe it was on Twitter. That's their First Amendment right to lie to you, which is really interesting given that the opposite is happening in Florida. See, there we go. Yeah, here. Okay, I found the story, and now I can share the Marijuana Moment story with everyone. Perfect. All right, so it goes on to say that a Maine Republican lawmaker says anti-marijuana activists are lying, quote, to mislead voters into signing a legalization repeal ballot petition. Remember, this is a Republican in Maine that's calling this out. Video shared by Representative David Boyer on Friday. Shows a person seemingly collecting signatures for the ballot measure, and an audio recording where he significantly misrepresents what the cannabis proposal would accomplish, claiming that its primary intent is to ensure product safety with enhanced testing requirements. All right. Wow. I'm just scrolling through this. Just scrolling through this to take a look at it. You take a look at it too. Wild stuff going on. Then what else? We've got Massachusetts is under attack as well. In Massachusetts, prohibitionists there have already collected the required number of signatures to put a similar repeal measure on the ballot. And there's allegations both in Massachusetts and in Maine about fraudulently obtained signatures. And then we've got Idaho, where I know we talked about this last week, but in Idaho, they have a constitutional amendment that'll be before voters. This constitutional amendment was approved by the legislature. So the legislature in Idaho has decided that they know better. They know much, much better than the voters do. And in Idaho, lawmakers think they should be the only ones entitled to pass anything related to marijuana legalization. Just them, not voters. And so they're placing a constitutional amendment before voters to say that only the legislature can decide, and that you as a voter would like to forfeit your right to vote on this issue. Why? What, make it make sense. Why, as a voter, would you hop in to that ballot box and say, you know what I want to do? I don't want to give up. I want to abdicate my right to vote. I don't want to vote. Make it make sense. And then in Florida, there's some nonsense going on in Florida as well. Let me see if I can pull that up for you real quick. I sure can. In Florida, the DeSantis administration is trying to prevent voters from deciding on adult use legalization on the 2026 ballot in November. So that they've been working for multiple years now to pass a legalization initiative in Florida. They have to do so by a supermajority. It's not just a simple majority. And they fell just short in 2025, so they're trying again to do it in 2026. And the DeSantis campaign is trying, or administration is trying everything possible to keep that from going before voters this year. Yes, Joe, Idaho, the potato lawmakers. Yes, indeed. I'm gonna take a quick look and catch up on your comments here. If you've got questions, drop those in the comments for us, and I'm gonna go read and see what's going on, what you all said while I was talking. Hey, James, good to see you back. Exactly, James. Yes. James says, yes, I saw this. States are under attack to turn back what we have accomplished in the legal market. It's exactly it, James. James adds, we need to fight this. And yes, we do. We absolutely do. That's why we emailed you about it 2 days ago, to make sure everyone on our list knew about it. Hi, Alessandro in Sydney, Australia. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Ellie. Good to see you as always, friend. Hey, Bennett Production. Thanks for sharing what's going on in South Dakota. Bennett Production says, let's go ahead and show this, that in South Dakota, and Toby, maybe go ahead and take some notes on this and compare it with your own and bill track. South Dakota 2026 cannabis bills. HB 1053 allows medical cannabis in terminal care. SB 61 is a hemp intoxicant ban. SB 95 requires card presentation to law enforcement. Well, that's, we're going to have our eyes on that one. SB 45 regulates synthetic cannabinoids for under 21. Like, says you can't sell it to people under 21. SB 80 prohibits Delta 9 sales to under 21. Okay, well, that is an interesting lineup. I can't wait to dig into those. Hey, Richard in Michigan. Good to see you. Matt, what's going on with that? Matt says we have retail stores and dispense and no flower in Minnesota. Do you not have flower because flower's just not available, or do you not have flower because Minnesota's program does not permit the dispensation of said product? It's not been uncommon for states to start like that. Hi, 1234. Good to see you. Harry Cypress, yes, I think you're hitting the nail on the head there. Harry says, I feel like they know not everyone votes, and maybe another vote on this would bring more voters. The more opportunities, the better chances people will vote, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, it's becoming increasingly clear when politicians think that they won't win on an issue at the voting booth, then they're going to try to sledgehammer their way either into it or out of it through preventing the vote altogether. Never underestimate lawmakers' ability or desire to treat their constituents like pawns, like ATMs. Yeah, Harry, I agree. It is a huge issue. Oh, hi. Okay. Hi, Scott. I see. Hey, ma'ams. Oh, okay. Let's get into your comment about Virginia. Ma'am says, howdy, with legalization, with adult use retail sales imminent in Virginia. Why is cannabis selling? They've been trying to sell for some time, is my understanding. And they're selling for financial reasons. It doesn't have anything to do with the state of Virginia. Reddit has conspiracies. Shocking. I see you, Reddit. Like, you love a conspiracy theory. It's like runner up to Twitter with conspiracy theories. Anyhow, ma'am says Reddit has conspiracies as profits may not be as high with legalization. Those aren't conspiracies. That's just, should I be kind or should I be honest? Someone decide. Like, come, are you kidding me? Why would they be losing profits? There are only 100,000 patients in the state of Virginia. Do people really think that 100,000 patients is bankrolling Virginia's medical cannabis program? Because they're not. They're not making money on these people. It's very expensive to operate here, and having the ability to sell more product to more people will increase revenue. So I'm confused I'm not confused because conspiracy. But okay, anyhow, moving on from that. Thank you for my daily laugh. Kara says, give it to us straight. Scott says, honest. Okay. Thank you, Matt, for that clarification. Matt says that the issue in Minnesota is a supply and demand issue and testing. Got it. I didn't think that passed without flower, but you know. Hey, Dean. Dean's not a prognosticator. Dean says, predictions on the future of hemp in Wisconsin. This is specific to Wisconsin. And, Dean, the Tavern League's coming for it. The Tavern League in Wisconsin is like, hey, you know what? We're the only ones who can keep the THC out of the children's hands. I mean, I don't know why. I've actually had some Wisconsin lawmakers call and ask me about this, as to why would the state, instead of regulating cannabis from a holistic standpoint, the way most states do, and instead of just regulating cannabis, taking it off the street corner, putting it behind an age-verified counter, why would they elect to say, oh, well, let's just give some THC beverages to the Tavern League and let that be, and call it a day, and that'll be it. That's how it'll be sold. Why would we do that? I'm like, I don't know why you would do that, because other states aren't doing that, and that's just a grift. So, also, if you're not currently regulating cannabis, Tavern League, you're not the best positioned to regulate cannabis. Also, selling beverages is not regulating cannabis. I'm not thrilled with them. Can you tell? That's what I think your biggest issue with that is in your state. That and elections have consequences. Wisconsin, so stop electing people to represent you who are terrible on cannabis policy unless you want to continue having terrible cannabis policies. What you should be focused on in Wisconsin is running a tight medical bill. Start somewhere. You have nothing. Start somewhere. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be what you want it to be, but that's okay. You can start with something that sucks and make it better next year. Or you can keep having nothing. Those are my hot takes. Hi, Andrew in Tennessee. Thank you. Nick reminds everyone to check out Smoke the Vote. You can find that at vote.norml.org. That's our cannabis voter guide. Canopy Core, I can't tell to whom you are responding. Oh, I see. Sorry. Dean in Wisconsin. What is SB 862 and what do you think is sensible regulation? Because if it's just handing a segment of that business over to an alcohol group, that's not sensible. That's a grift. West Virginia finally decriminalize adult use in 2026. Thank you, Mr. Jinx, for asking if West Virginia will do something in 2026. I don't know if there's no bills yet that we're tracking in West Virginia, and I don't know if West Virginia's focus is on decrim at the moment because you have medical. I suspect you'll see continued efforts on your medical program. Anybody in West Virginia? I haven't heard anything about it, but I don't live in West Virginia. Hey, Patty, thanks for watching us. Yeah, we're still here. We have been doing this since 1970. Hey, Ambrogi. Happy Friday. Oh, Joe, thanks for your comments. Good to see you. Rare Earth on Instagram is asking about Eugene, Oregon, and you're hearing that pharmacies may be able to start selling cannabis. Is Oregon planning to allow that? That's not something of which I am aware. I'm looking to see if there's something just pops up real quick. No, my guess on that, unless there's some legislation that you're aware of that we aren't, I don't see anything yet. And my guess is this is someone trying to say something about rescheduling, but rescheduling does not have, no. If it's about rescheduling, no. Rescheduling does not make cannabis available in dispensaries. We've done a few live with NORMLs dedicated just to rescheduling, what it does and what it doesn't do. We also have a primer on the front page of the NORML website, so you can go back and watch those. The last one we did, I think at the end of December, me and Paul did one, and then the primer's on the front page. My gut says that's what someone was saying to you. Nick Nick, that's interesting. Nick says Pennsylvania is at least the top 4 in the 4 best medical program. You mean Pennsylvania is one of the top 4 in the country? What makes Pennsylvania's great? I'm just curious. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just curious. Oh, you're coming to the conference, Ambrogi. Great. Love that. Frank, Frank, I see your little train thing, and that makes me think that you're your doctor. Is that correct? Maybe they want to call them cannabis pharmacy. I don't know. Oh, Joey, thank you for getting me back on track. And yes, Scott, I'll talk about the conference in a minute. Joey says, how were the Ohio politicians able to basically undo all of the legalization we voted on? Well, first and foremost, they're able to do that because Ohioans elected them. People in Ohio elected these people to represent them. And they're not actually representing them. What they're doing in Ohio is saying, well, the voters what they did in Ohio, after voters approved legalization, after it went into effect, Ohio lawmakers were like, yeah, but we don't like it like this. We want to take away your rights. We don't like this. We want you to have less rights. So we're just going to pass legislation and undo what you voted on. And that's what they did. And I have more for you on that, as a matter of fact. Toby can go ahead and share that with you all. But this week, the state's attorney general rejected a petition that is trying to repeal what that bill did. The bill is SB 56. For those of you who aren't in Ohio or aren't nerds like me, SB 56 is what lawmakers passed to undo what voters approved. And so activists went in and submitted a petition to overturn, to try and repeal what lawmakers did. And the attorney general rejected it. The attorney general says this. Remember how earlier we talked about these signature collection, these falsified tactics for signature collections in other states, and how skeevy that was? But the other states are like, well, they're allowed to lie to you because of the First Amendment. Well, when it's convenient in Ohio, they say this. The attorney general says, upon review of the summary, we identified omissions and misstatements that, as a whole, would mislead a potential signer as to the scope and effect of SB 56. So you see, are you picking up on this? When it's convenient, right? When it's convenient, you can't mislead voters. And when it's inconvenient, oh, it's okay. Just say whatever you want. Yeah, Joe, exactly. Joe says they all need voted out. Stop electing people like this, friends. Just stop. If this is your issue, and it's got to be your issue to some degree, because you're here Friday afternoon watching a show about public policy. Stop voting for people who aren't going to deliver on what you want. Yes, Joe. Joe says we trusted them to represent us, and they failed. They are absolutely failing you. And they're telling you essentially that they know better than you. They know better than voters. Exactly, John. This happened earlier this year in Michigan. Last year, we're in a new year, I forgot. John says Michigan lawmakers also trying to repeal our freedoms voted on by the people. In fact, they did make some progress with a big old fat tax hike. Remember that? That was unpleasant. It's treating you like an ATM, not a constituent. Hmm. I love that. I love that, Joey. That's great. All right, I see your Virginia questions, and I'm definitely going to get to them. Let me go through these comments real quick. We did Ohio. We talked about states being under attack. Thank you for that. Tennessee is looking at introducing a medical program update by late 2026. Thank you for that note, Toby. All right. We'll do the science stuff later. Everything else is science. So we'll do policy and conference now if you want. All right. Who did I have to? I had to Scott. Yes. Scott says conference. Yes, Scott, conference in Virginia next weekend, not tomorrow. Next weekend. Starting Friday the 23rd, Saturday the 24th, Sunday the 25th, and Monday the 26th is the 2026 Virginia Cannabis Conference, and then that Monday is Virginia NORML Lobby Day. I'm sure that Toby will drop the link to that in the chat for you, but it is virginiacannabisconference.com. Yes, of course you should come. There's still plenty of time to register. Hey, Ambrogi, let me see let me show your question with everyone here. Ambrogi Acres says, so how do you think the Cannabis Control Authority will be with the recreational market? I think that they're very ready for the adult use market to finally get up and running. Thank you. Thank you, Toby, for this. Oh, it's gone. Put it back. The QR code. Can I have the QR code back? The QR code, you can scan that for the Virginia Cannabis Conference right there. Do I have to hide the comment for it to show up on the other one? Perfect. Okay. So how do I think the Cannabis Control Authority will be? I think they'll be fine. They don't pass legislation. They're the regulator. They're already regulating cannabis in Virginia right now. Virginia has some of the best regulated cannabis in the country, meaning it is regulated for the consumer, not for the business. I think they'll be great. I want them to be great, and they know that we want them to be great. They'll be at the Virginia Cannabis Conference as well, so you can talk to them in person. But remember, they don't make laws. They just do what they're authorized to do. Hey, Toby. Oh, sorry, Tabby. Toby's our producer, so I want to call you by his name. Hi, Tabby in Missouri. Tony, are you in Pennsylvania? So, that posted weird. I hope it's giving you the whole thing. I wonder if those links are clickable. I could look and see, but I probably should do the show instead. Oh, good. Ambrogi, I'm really happy to hear that. Ambrogi says, yeah, we've been following them. Seems like they know what they're doing, and we can't wait. Yeah. Yeah, they're good. They're good people. One of my favorite people at the Cannabis Control Authority came from Colorado, from their program. So we have actual policy experts there doing actual work, not just people who are like, yeah, this seems fun, in case anyone was curious. All right, let's talk about some science stuff. If anyone has questions, drop those in the comments for us. I can't tell you a lot about Virginia legislation yet, but I can tell you some stuff if you have questions about that. I can't tell you because all of the bills haven't been filed, haven't hit LIS yet. Let's do cannabis beverages. So, in what will undoubtedly be just such a surprise to all of you, because I think we've had a version of this isn't the same study, but this is a topic that's been studied a lot recently. Um, this one, cannabis beverages are associated with reduced alcohol consumption. If you watch this show regularly, you've already heard this because we've talked about it numerous times, but there is another study for you as well to take a look at. Toby just dropped that in the comments. Thank you so much. This one is researchers who are affiliated with SUNY Buffalo, looked at trends in alcohol consumption, and in a cohort of people who had acknowledged using cannabis products during the past year. And researchers were able to determine that people who had consumed cannabis beverages were more likely to report substituting cannabis for alcohol than the non-users were. They also reported fewer weekly alcoholic drinks after starting cannabis beverages as compared to before they had started. And they also binge drank less frequently. So add that on the pile of research about cannabis beverages. And then if you're in Wisconsin, pay close attention, because the alcohol industry is, and this isn't to say that it's just Wisconsin, this is happening everywhere. The same grift came to our doorstep here in Virginia, where there was a desire to just make sure that the alcohol retailers were the only people who could sell cannabis beverages. We already regulate cannabis here. Why would we do that? Anyhow, throw that scary log on your fire too. Next up, we'll do I see you, Toby. We're gonna do depression next. It sounds depressing, but it's actually a good one. So this research is about people with treatment-resistant depression, and this was done in the UK. They have the UK Medical Cannabis Registry there. That's what they call their program, and in that British healthcare providers can prescribe cannabis-based medicine to patients who are unresponsive to conventional medications. So this makes sense that they're looking at people with treatment-resistant depression. They go on to say that this UK Medical Cannabis Registry study of patients with treatment-resistant depression prescribed cannabis-based medical. I was reading that. Cannabis-based medical products. Sorry, the internet hates me today. They demonstrated sustained and clinically meaningful improvements in depression, anxiety, health-related quality of life, and sleep quality over 24 months. Improvements were most pronounced within the first 3 months and then were sustained thereafter. So they also say adverse events were infrequent and predominantly mild to moderate. So really great information coming out of the UK Medical Cannabis Registry, really on a pretty regular basis. They do really good data collection with their program. Hi, Quinn. Andrew, I see your question about that bill about the Free to Farm Act. I don't know what state that is. Hey, Selena. Welcome to the show. Thanks for asking your question. And the answer is yes. So, let me go grab that for you. So, Selena asks, is there any study regarding the reduction of migraine pain and associated nausea? My friend, there are many studies about migraine. And the easiest way for me to share this with you is just to post the whole thing that comes up right here. Similarly, you could go to the NORML website and just search the little search icon up in the top corner and search nausea, search migraine. There's also a whole section on migraine. I hate when I don't have this book right here. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Okay, let me grab the book and let me grab you the link to the migraine section of the book. So, Selena, this is the book. Clinical Applications for Cannabis and Cannabinoids, a review of the recent scientific literature. You can get the hard copy from the NORML store at store.norml.org. You can get the Kindle version on Amazon, and you can get all of this on the NORML website as well. We have the entire PDF of this section available on our website. I'm going to share that with you right now. So this is a really commonly researched topic with cannabis. So yes. Oh, thank you so much, Toby. Now I can speak more to the Free to Farm Act. It's a proposed piece of legislation in Tennessee introduced by State Representative Antonio Parkinson that would allow residents to grow their own cannabis for personal use. So that's as much information as I had. You probably already knew that, though, didn't you? It's not been docketed yet. Okay. But the bill's been introduced? Just a yes or a no will do. No, Quinn, I hope you had a wonderful holiday. I haven't seen you since then either. Okay, great. I don't know if that's on our Take Action page yet, but it sure sounds like the kind of bill we're going to have on our website. I see. We do have the medical study up on the Take Action Center, which is SB 1603 in Tennessee. We don't have the other one yet, but once it's filed, we'll get it. Hey, Peachtree NORML, what is that bill? I'm going to show your comment, and I'm going to look at Georgia to see if I have this here. HB 496. Oh, that's the odor. Okay, great. So Peachtree NORML is sharing with us that they're trying to get HB 496 a hearing. This piece of legislation would provide limitations on stops, searches, and seizures, and arrests that are predicated on the smell of marijuana. We have the action alert for that up on our website right now. The aroma bill. Got it. Ambrogi has a question about Virginia. Ambrogi says, if we secured an adult use license, would we be able to keep our hemp license, or will we have to forfeit that? That depends on what. Great question. I don't I do not recall requiring that in the legislation. That doesn't mean it's not in there somewhere, but I don't recall that ever being a discussion point. But we'll find out, and I'll let you know. I'll know by the time I see you next weekend. Will I? Oh, Texas moves to ban smokable cannabis. How are they doing that? I'm gonna look it up. It won't let me click your link. Sorry. Oh, this is THC? I mean hemp products. I see now. I probably should look at the MJ Biz one and not. Oh, well, here's what Houston Public Media says. This is proposed state rules would redefine how THC is measured. Okay. Yeah. Proposed rule would still allow for edible hemp products like gummies and drinks containing Delta 9, Delta 8, and potent synthetic cannabinoids like THCP. This is everything that's wrong with Texas. What? Those products should be required to carry warning labels, clear dosing instructions, and web links to independent lab tests showing concentration of active ingredients in the presence of any heavy metals, pesticides, or microbial contamination. Slapping warning labels on something and saying, here's a QR code to test results that aren't from anyone who's regulated by the state, that's not regulation. That's not regulation. I realize that consumers in states are limited, in some states are limited as to what they have access to, like in Wisconsin, like in Indiana, like in Texas. At least in Texas, you have a medical cannabis program. I understand that people are going to buy products that are available to them. What we take so much issue with at NORML is that unregulated products pose significant health risks to consumers. And consumers don't know what they don't know. When you go to the store and you see something for sale, you assume, number one, that it's legal, and number two, that has some amount of safe to consume-ness, right? Like when I go buy my toothpaste, I'm not worried that there's also arsenic in there, because you can't put things like that in regulated products. It's very tightly regulated. The same consumer protections ought to apply to cannabis products. And in most states they do. And then there are all of these other products that people like to call hemp, but just apparently we can just have those be totally unregulated. That's predatory. That is predatory behavior. Staying says, yes, it's a mess here in Texas. Exactly. Ambrogi. He knows what's up. He says we all have a printer. We can print a QR code with the COA anytime we want, right? Right? Stang jumps in. COAs are not even accurate most of the time. No SOPs for testing flower. Right. If your testing requirements are not mandated by your state, and your labs are not regulated by your state, and I mean actually regulated, required to have certifications, right? Required to meet standards, are audited, If that's not happening, gosh, I hope you have good scientists running those labs that are also ethical. Anyhow, Ambrogi, I'm going to ask if that's really the case, and I'll let you know. Oh, hey, XOXO on Instagram. They say cannabis has changed my life forever for the good. I'm so happy for you. I love that for you. All right. Hi, hi, Kevin. Good to see you. I hope you just heard me getting real mouthy. Let's talk about our last two science stories for the week. We have, let's do cystic fibrosis. This is a survey that was done. Why is the internet so slow today? For relating to medical cannabis use by patients with cystic fibrosis. This is done by Canadian researchers, and their survey data indicate that nearly half of those surveyed, of these cystic fibrosis patients that they surveyed, nearly half of them acknowledged being current cannabis consumers. And then of those who are consumers, 85% of them said they used cannabis products explicitly for therapeutic relief, and primarily for the treatment of insomnia, stress, anxiety, joint pain, low appetite, depression, or abdominal pain. Most respondents described cannabis as medically efficacious and said that it improved their health-related quality of life. I know you've heard all these things before, but we're going to keep telling you. Yeah, medical cannabis use is common among cystic fibrosis patients. Oh, good. Yeah, Kevin, that was my mouthy bit about the COAs. Peachtree Normal says hi to you also, Kevin. And then, what's our last one? Oh, let's do autism again. We have a lot of coverage on autism. What? And this one I thought was really, I actually had to share this study with my partner while we were working on publishing it, because they work in behavioral health. And I really appreciated the way in which they did the assessment for this particular study. So this one is about CBD-rich cannabis extracts for children with autism and ADHD. And this was specifically looking at ADHD symptoms, but in kids with autism. This was done in Israel. They do a lot of cannabis research in Israel. They are no longer number one, though. The US is now number one in cannabis research. Israeli researchers assessed the efficacy of CBD-dominant extracts in a cohort of children diagnosed with both autism and ADHD. They did it over 3 to 6 months. And the assessments revealed significant improvements in the following categories: anxiousness, shyness, perfectionism, ADHD index, emotional liability, and hyperactive impulsivity. Participants also demonstrated reduced hyperactivity and improvements in their ability to maintain attention, though these changes did not reach statistical significance. Anyhow, this is super interesting. Oh, and what was really novel about this is study participants were assessed at the baseline and the completion of the study by their school teachers. And they utilized a standardized rating scale called the Connors Teacher the Connors teaching rating scale. I'm doing great. Everything's great. Connors teaching rating scale. Typically in these types of studies, we're seeing the response, the feedback is coming from the parent. And that might be a lot more subjective, whereas this is coming from the teachers who are following a structured questionnaire for analyzing the changes in behaviors. Bye, Ambrogi. See you next week. It's like, wait, is that the right thing? We are not going to do a show next week, friends, just so you know. There's no way it's happening. Next week is, so it could, there could be a bill up in the Virginia General Assembly next Friday. As early as next Friday, we could see a bill being heard for adult use retail. And it's also the first day of the conference. So a lot going on next Friday. Not going to do a show. And did we do it? Did we do all the, we did all stories for the week. I love that. We're doing great. Quinn, I'm afraid to click on it. Okay, Quinn has this to share with us. Quinn says, here's some junk science news for you. Great. A recent article claims researchers can now define how much cannabis is too much. By borrowing a measurement framework modeled after alcohol risk categories. How's that? Neat. You weren't wrong when you said junk science, my friend. Wow. Cool. I hope the next one is going to tell us about special prosecutorial tools. They definitely are going to work. They're definitely based on science. Oh, good grief. I don't know what that means. Okay. If someone else on Facebook knows what that means, feel free to let me know. Oh, Toby's giving me some insight onto this thing that the junk science Quinn brought to our attention. It says established what THC levels. Wait, what THC levels in what? In blood, in urine, in the product itself? Tell me more. I can't see because you're typing. Establish what THC levels lead to misuse disorders. Higher levels obviously correlate with more misuse. Okay, cute. Tell me what the levels in what? In the does that mean, like, if I look at the, oh, you shared it with me right there. Oh wow, they make bold claims. Quinn, I'm looking at it now and this is comedy. Canteen. That's the name of it. Oh, good God. Milligrams of THC. This is hokey AF. For adolescents, this threshold was around 6 THC units per week. If this is milligrams, then why don't they just say milligrams? Why are they saying THC units? Oh, I see. 1 THC unit defined as 5 milligrams. Why are you adding extra math? What is wrong with you? Just measure it in milligrams, weirdo. 1 THC unit is analogous to the standard unit used to compare beer, wine, and spirits. Okay. Oh, good news. Apparently, the threshold for adults is 40 milligrams per week. Oh, Quinn, you did not, my friend, you did not disappoint. It's grade A bullshit. And the fact that it's out of UK makes even more sense. Oh, good God. Peachtree, do you have more events coming up? I know I talked about your last event during last week's show. I don't know who this is, but you have to be banned because we don't post weird, sketchy links in our shows or on our pages. No. So bye. God. All right, friends. This has been fun. But I don't know if you know this, but we're inaugurating a new governor tomorrow in Virginia. Can't come soon enough. But tonight is the welcome reception for that, and I'm going to get ready to go to that. Oh, thank you, Peachtree. Thank you, Peachtree. Peachtree, where did it go? Peachtree NORML says, we are doing, did you just try to show that for me, Toby, and I put it down? Peachtree NORML says, we are doing lobby day every Tuesday. Meet us at the Capitol. This is Georgia. Georgia, friends. If you're in Georgia, make sure you're connected with Peachtree NORML and participate in their lobby days if you can. Hey, Matt, thanks. Matt says, good luck next Friday in Virginia. I'm going to need good luck every day in Virginia for so many reasons, none of which are related to our governor, our new governor. Our old one's a clown. Thanks, Kevin. I will have fun. Harry, thank you so much. I'm glad you're going to send letters for us this week. Appreciate it. Hey, everyone who lives in, America, there's legislation probably pending in your state. Like legislative sessions are just starting right now. So some states have a lot of bills up, like there's 10 in Pennsylvania, and then some states have one up, like Virginia, where I've just got one up so far. But there's 7 in Florida, there's 4 in Kentucky, there's 4 in Massachusetts. So if you haven't yet, especially if you're on this side of the country, the east side of the country, there's some legislation you should probably take a look at. And you can visit our Take Action Center at norml.org/act. You can go to our Take Action Center and literally with just a few clicks and under 30 seconds, you can send an email directly to your lawmakers. Either if it's a state bill, it's going to go, of course, to your state lawmakers. If it's a federal bill, it's going to go to your federal representatives. But we make it really easy for you to just click and send those emails right to your lawmakers, telling them what you think about cannabis legislation that they'll be voting on. And if you are in one of the states where these ridiculous, and I do mean ridiculous repeal efforts are underway, Maine, Massachusetts, Arizona, Idaho, you want to go to NORML Election Central. That's norml.org/election. And there are action alerts there so that you can click and email your lawmakers opposing these repeal attempts. We don't need to wait for these measures to qualify for the ballot. We can start telling lawmakers right now that we oppose this. And if you are in one of those states, please run to NORML Election Central, norml.org/election. Make sure you are sending those oppose emails to your lawmakers so they know you don't want this. You don't want it on your ballot. You don't want it at all. Thanks, Melissa. Melissa says, it seriously only takes a minute. If you're in Virginia, make sure you go and to the Virginia Action Alert and send that action alert in support of the adult use retail sales legislation. It is going to move quickly because this is a very short legislative session. So start sending those emails now. Don't worry about, like, the action alert is super generic and it's basically, hey, we need to do this. Are there going to be specifics that we, go through during session about the bills and changes? Absolutely. But for most of your lawmakers in any state, most of them aren't weighing in on the specifics. That's really just the committee members. So you want to tell everyone early and repeatedly where you stand on the issue. They need to hear from you more than once. If you want to send the same action alert more than once, you can. The way to do that is to change the subject line. That way it won't stack up in their inbox under the same subject line. Just change it just a little bit. You could just say constituent email or a message from your constituent, or you could put the bill number. You can use the same action alert over and over again if you just change the subject line. And we do update the language in our really big bills for the year here at NORML. So like this Virginia bill is a really huge one for us. We're going to keep that fresh. We're going to change it as it moves through session so that lawmakers aren't seeing exactly the same thing over and over again, but it's okay for them to see the same thing over and over again, because really all they're doing is counting the number of constituent contacts that they are getting on this issue. And of course, you can see when you go to an action alert, I'm just going to pick Virginia's because it's here in front of me. You can see how many people have sent that alert. 28 letters, Virginia. I mean, I know there's some fatigue on retail sales, but come on. We sent 9,000 in 2021 when we legalized. You're going to have to work up for 28. So make sure you are sharing these action alerts with your networks. There it is. Melissa says, and tell your friends. Yeah, please just go ahead and share the action alerts on your socials. Email your friends. Do whatever it is. Text people and say, hey, do this right now. Candid, thanks for joining us. I appreciate your thoughts. 143 Daddy, you're interested in getting certified. Where and what? Maybe, I know, maybe, probably for medical cannabis is what you mean. If you have more questions, friends, and you're now at the end of the show or you're rewatching this and it wasn't live, you can just email us at normal@norml.org. This has been fun. I'm going to go to reception now because that's part of my job. And I will see you all back here in probably 2 weeks. We won't be back next week, but I'll try to be back the following week for you all. I'm JM Pedini, the development director here at NORML. And as always, I'll see you right back here next time. Bye-bye.